shockwaves from the Russian offensive landed directly in the Oval Office, where President Donald Trump's initial reaction was described by several aides as one of intense anger and profound frustration. The president, who had campaigned on a platform of projecting American strength to deter adversary, viewed the massive Russian assault not just as a geopolitical crisis, but as a direct and personal challenge to his leadership. In a series of tense high-level meetings throughout the day, President Trump reportedly demanded answers from his national security team, questioning how the full scope and ambition of the Russian plan had been so dangerously underestimated. His voice, often booming and confident in public addresses, was said to be sharp and laced with irritation as he questioned his top intelligence and defense officials about the failure to provide a more definitive warning. Sources familiar with the discussion, who spoke on the condition of anonymity, painted a picture of a president who felt he had been strategically cornered by his Russian counterpart. A senior White House official stated that President Trump repeatedly expressed the sentiment that Russian President Vladimir Putin had deliberately timed the offensive to test the new administration and make it appear reactive and weak on the global stage. The prevailing analysis within the West Wing was that Putin had waited for the Trump administration to settle in before launching a bold move, calculating that it would create maximum political and strategic chaos. This belief that the attack was a calculated play specifically targeted him seemed to only deepen President Trump's fury. He saw it as a brazen attempt to undermine his authority just months into his term. This interpretation was shared by key members of his cabinet. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, in his consultations with European allies, framed the Russian action as a gross miscalculation of American resolve. He argued that Putin believed he could create divisions within Nato and force the United States into a posture of hesitation. However, behind closed doors, the sentiment was more stark. The offensive was seen as a masterful, if cynical, move by the Kremlin. It forced President Trump into a difficult corner. A weak or delayed response would be portrayed globally as American impotence, validating Putin's gamble and potentially causing a collapse in Ukrainian morale and European confidence. A strong escalatory response, however, carried its own immense risk, including the potential for a direct conflict with a nuclear-armed Russia and the possibility of fracturing the NATO alliance, where some member states fear being dragged into a wider war. In a brief impromptu exchange with reporters on the White House lawn before boarding Marine One, President Trump's anger was visible to the world. He did not take questions, but he stopped to deliver a short, forceful statement. "What Russia has done is a terrible, terrible thing," he said, his expression grim. "They're going to find out that we don't play games. This will be handled. It will be handled very strongly." He also took aim at the state of the military and ammunition stockpiles he inherited, suggesting his administration was left in a difficult position. This public statement was seen by analysts as an attempt to regain control of the narrative and project an image of command, but it also revealed the immense pressure he was under. He was a leader, prided himself on setting the agenda, and now he was being forced to react to an agenda set by Moscow. The strategic dilemma consumed the administration's top minds. Secretary of Defense Peter Hegseth was reportedly advocating for a swift and powerful military signal. This included proposal to immediately airlift advanced anti-tank and anti-aircraft systems directly to the front lines and to visibly increase the posture of U.S. forces in Eastern Europe, putting them on their highest state of alert. He argued that only a demonstration of overwhelming American military capability could halt the Russian advance and restore deterrence. In contrast, Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent and United States Trade Representative Jamieson Greer focused on preparing what they called an economic sledgehammer, a package of sanctions so severe that it would target Russia's energy sector and its access to the global financial system in ways never before attempted. The challenge was that both approaches would take time to have an effect. While Ukrainian forces were losing ground by the hour, the perception grew among Washington insiders that Putin had brilliantly played the long game, using the past year to build up his forces while the West debated the level of its supports for Ukraine. Now, he had presented President Trump with an acute crisis that had no easy or clean solutions, leaving the American president to fume over a strategic chessboard where his opponent has just made a devastating and unexpected move. Many of my listeners, like 70%, haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel. And so many of you don't even know that you haven't subscribed. That is actually what makes the show going. It's almost like you are making a donation to the show. So that's why I ask again and again, because it enables us to grow and grow and grow. And we're going for the long haul here. And listen, if this is your first time listening to So Enraged, you don't have to subscribe. You guys, your first one's on me. But if you have watched this show before, it's like you are a freeloader now. So all I would ask you is, if you have seen this show before and you like it, help me. Help my team here. Hit that subscribe and like button now. And we will continue to build this show for you. Thank you to all of you guys who have subscribed. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. That's all for me for today. I will see you soon. Bye for now.